What is going on, everybody? Joe here, back. The sickness tried to bring me down, but I wouldn't let it happen again. After 2 weeks, I am back here for you all to do a review on probably one of the most hyped fragrances. This is going to be very interesting. Stay tuned. Viktor&Rolf Spicebomb Night Vision was brought to us this year, 2019. It was and is the fourth version of Spicebomb that I'm willing to actually include. I mean, they've had like other like Christmas editions and digital editions, but those were still the same Spicebomb fragrance. This is the fourth version that is tweaked and different, the fourth official flanker in my opinion, and the first since 2015 when we last saw Spicebomb Extreme. That was a major hit, and it's kind of fitting that this fragrance is actually a dud. But this isn't as bad as people have been saying, in my opinion. Some of the notes that I've been getting when I've worn this have been starting with a top of a mixed assortment of citrus with that apple note that was so hyped and prominent and, you know, made everybody go crazy when they first saw the note breakdown. So you're getting bergamot, orangey, citrus blend with that sharp green apple and a little bit of the spice in the beginning. And by spice, I'm meaning like cardamom, chili, and some of the clove. Now, some have said that this is extremely musky. It's not that it's musky because it contains musk. It has that clove combined with the chili that end up really appearing like it may be musky, but it's not actually all that musky. And actually a lot of that apple, bergamot, citrus combination in the opening tames it down and made this fragrance actually pretty pleasant. Then goes ahead and kind of like dries down to a still apple spicy with a hint of like tonka, but still spicy type of thing. This fragrance isn't really deep. There isn't many layers to this. It switches a little bit, which is nice, especially compared to a lot of the fragrances these days, but it's not overly complex, say like Le Labo's Rose 31, and I'm saying that because of the use of the different spices like cumin and pepper in there. This isn't as complicated as something like that. It's real kind of fresh for a few like minutes, like 45 minutes. Then it's fresh spicy, and then it's fresh spicy add tonka. But hey, some people actually do like it. Props to Viktor&Rolf for at least not making a complete dud. Really, when I'm looking at this and thinking about this fragrance, the problem here is the performance. With the projection, it sits moderate off of the initial spray. I'm getting a good 2 foot, 2.5 foot bubble for the first 45 minutes. And then an hour and a half, I'm getting literally, what's this, like 6-inch projection? And then it sits close to the skin and is practically unsmellable. I know that's not the right word. Bear with me, I'm just coming back. You cannot smell it after 3 hours. But in the first 30 to 45 minutes, hey, it's great. If you were to wear this, or if I had to like recommend a particular person to wear this, I would say at least be 22. And I'm saying 22 because of the use of the spice and everything. Like, this is a pleasant fragrance, but a lot of the people who complimented me were over the age of 25. That I did notice. I work with some people who are under the age of 25, like in that 21 to 25 range. Nothing at all. They preferred the Barbados vintage. I mean, not Barbados vintage. Barbados, Nick Jonas. They preferred the Chanel Blues and Sport Extremes and Savages and Ultra Zest and yada yada. They preferred that. People who would appreciate this would be at least 25 and up, if you're just going for solely compliments alone. You know, despite this being a dud with the performance, this isn't a bad fragrance. I mean, is there synthetics in here? Yeah, sure. But it really actually has some redeeming qualities to it. It's almost like going to see a rom-com movie in its like 8th week of being in the movie theater. And it had hype because it had all of these star actors and actresses, but it didn't end up being what everyone wanted it to be, given the list of actors and actresses. But it still had redeeming qualities to it. It still had a solid script to where you didn't have to walk out of the movie theater. It told jokes, which, considering it would have been a rom-com, that's what it's there to do. And you don't end up completely feeling like you wasted your time. That's kind of like what this is. This has so much potential to be a really good fragrance and fall in line with the Extreme unAVERAGE and the original. And it kind of just ended up being a dud. And, you know, ended up not being as good. And it might have also been because of the name. Night Vision, you're giving off the thing of allure, sex appeal, you know. This is almost as eau fraiche or fresh as the eau fraiche version that came out. It's a little bit deeper, a little bit more spicy, but it's almost closer to being fresh or Spicebomb afternoon instead of Spicebomb night vision. But this isn't a completely horrible fragrance. I would recommend you waiting until it gets on discount, or you finding it through some sort of auction place where you could get this for like $50. It's gonna be hard because Viktor and Rolf does not discount their fragrances, and when they do, it's many, many years later. So, I say, try this one. Do not buy at retail. And most importantly, actually give this fragrance a chance and do not let the initial negative reviews scare you off. Weather has actually been warm-ish and cold for some reason here in Atlanta as of late. And this does not work well when it was warmer. And by warmer, I mean towards the 80-degree weather. This was not all that good. This is definitely a spring and fall fragrance, because then you're talking about lack of performance. So how's it gonna hold up in the winter unless you have a decant? Spring and fall. If you really want to use this on a summer night, I guess you can get away with it, but there are so many better options, because on a summer night, you're supposed to be out for 6-7 hours in an environment that has so many different smells. You'll need a much better projecting fragrance. But if that's your thing, go ahead and wear this in the summer night. Bottle and presentation for Spicebomb Night Vision. You have the little grenade clip that has VNR there for Viktor and Rolf. It's on both sides. Just like other previous Spicebomb bottles, you have Spicebomb Night Vision across the middle, and you have this grenade bottle. Unlike other times, the bottle goes into like a fading gradient, reverse ombre type of thing, where it starts off black and goes all the way down to green, instead of it being just pure gray for the original, or like frosted for the Eau Fresh, and gray with the gold stripe across the middle for the Extreme. This one kept it black and green. I get where they were going with it. Night Vision. Box. Spicebomb Night Vision. The VNR logo has a big stripe going across. OD toilet pour on with the fluid ounces. Comes in 2 sizes. This 50 ml bottle for $80. It cost $80. If you get it through Viktor and Rolf and you're a first time orderer or user with Viktor and Rolf, you can save 10%. And that's all the promo that I'm going to give for them, because they didn't pay me. But you could save some money. And I want you to save money at all times. So there you go. Sign up for their membership stuff if this is your first time, and you could get this for $72 and free shipping. But back to what I was saying. 50 mil, $80, 100 mil, $96. Something like that. It's $95, $96. Box, SKU code, whole bunch of random ingredients. What is with these boxes having multiple barcodes? Why? So there are my thoughts on Viktor and Rolf Spicebomb Night Vision. Not a bad fragrance. Will I buy another bottle? Probably not. I'll probably find use for this the same way I found use for my Boss Bottle Night. Actually, I just ran out of that recently. So this will probably replace that in just a casual throw around fragrance, because that's all this would really be good for, is casual throw around. This isn't sexy, in my opinion, enough for a date. This really doesn't fit the bill for work. I guess you can wear it for work. I did. But it didn't really make me feel, you know, empowered or anything like I was going to get some stuff done. I just kind of felt cool, and some people told me I smell good. And this is definitely not a black tie event. This fragrance is far from daring the way Spicebomb Extreme or Spicebomb even was. Not saying those two fragrances are daring, but they are much bolder than this. And yeah, it's an okay fragrance. It's not as bad as what other people have made it out to be, but it's not worth the hype that it had released or came with 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Certainly not. I hope Viktor and Rolf goes back to the drawing board. If anything, this fragrance makes me appreciate the other three flankers even more so. And that's just how I feel. Have you tried Spicebomb Night Vision? Have you tried any Spicebomb fragrance? Leave the comments down below. Do you still even want to try this after my review and after seeing all the previous negative reviews? Because I'm sure if you're stumbling upon my video, you've heard about it from somebody else. So after all of this, do you still want to try this? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. My name's Joe. I'll see you all later.